Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Basically this video is going to be about my driving experience because summer's coming up and I can tell everyone is trying to get their driving lessons done and trying to pass their practical or theory. Here's a bit of my experience and some tips that I can give to you. Okay, so first of all, I've passed my test now and, well, I passed a couple of years ago, and I drive automatic. Yeah, I know, everyone says that's such a lazy way of driving, but then again, no one's driving the car for me, so it's like, I could drive whatever I want, manual, automatic, it don't really bother me. And like, basically, I had to do my test 7 times, about 7 or 6 times. It was just an awful experience. Like, when I tell you, it was just test after test after test after test, like literally. Anyway, so the first time, I failed my theory test by 1 mark, so if I keep looking down like I'm checking my notes. The first time I failed by 1 mark on my theory test, which was so upsetting. Then I did it the second time. I was like, well, I don't really need to practice again because I was only 1 mark off. And I failed miserably, like so bad I even cried. The third time I passed, but I had to go all the way to Chelmsford because I felt like Ilford was just bringing me bad vibes. You know when you've done a test in the same centre for so many times you feel like it's bringing you bad luck? Yeah, that's what I did. So I had to change my test centre and then I passed. So on to my practical. Okay, so the first time I did my practical, everything was great. Like, I was driving perfectly fine. Like, I thought I was a great driver because my mum was already teaching me how to drive with her car, and I was getting like private lessons and my normal driving lessons, which I think is a great idea for you guys to do. Like, if you have anyone who's already been driving, or you have any parents who are like willing to teach you how to drive, you should like maximize your opportunity with that, because that helped me a lot, like the most, because that's how I was so confident to do all my tests, because basically I was already driving on the road. So I did my test, everything was alright, and then I failed. I'm not going to accept this. I still don't accept that I failed this test because I don't understand why I failed it. So basically, obviously, when you're doing a practical test, he says, can you please stop somewhere? You know, can you please stop somewhere where it's reasonable or whatever. So I'm looking at all the roads now. I'm thinking, okay, this is a hill. There's this little dealership thing. And I'm just like, okay, let me park before the dealership, because obviously that makes sense. You don't want to park in front of the dealership and all these cars are trying to come out. So anyway, I parked just before the dealership and he's like, thank you. So I'm like, okay, I nailed that one was great. Anyway, I'm driving off now, everything's fine. I'm stopping before the red light. I'm stopping at the zebra crossings. Like, I'm doing all the good types of driving that people don't usually do, yeah? Anyway, so when it comes to the breakdown at the end of the test, he's like, I'm sorry to tell you, but you failed. And I'm like, really? So I was like, why did I fail my test? He's like, because you stopped on a double yellow line. But these times I didn't even see the double yellow line. Like, I don't know if you have done your test before. Like, when you're driving and you're nervous, you don't really see all these minor signs. Like, fair enough, you know, like, the road code and you know what you should and shouldn't do. But minor things you really, like, it slips your mind. So those are the things that you should take precaution when you're driving. Because my second time, I accept this one. My second time, basically, I was driving, everything was cool, and this girl decided to put her foot in the road for no damn reason. When I tell you, I just slammed on my brakes, and obviously it wasn't a zebra crossing, it was just like, you know, it's basically just another crossing. You're not really supposed to stop there unless like there's traffic and you have to stop to give way for pedestrians. So I just stopped anyway, and then okay, obviously you know where that's going. I felt that one. Then the third time, everything was cool. Like, I didn't actually do anything wrong. But anyway, if you guys like drive in Essex and you get something called country lanes. So I'm driving in a country lane now and everything is fine. You have to do, I think it's 50 or 60. I should remember this. Anyway, 50 or 60 miles per hour. And I'm driving fast. I'm thinking to myself, because I'm driving fast. Okay, I'm back. So basically, I'm driving down the country lane now, and I'm driving at 60 miles per hour, or is it 50? I don't even remember the speed limit. Anyway, so I'm driving down the country lane, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm driving like a proper professional. I'm not hitting no cars. I'm just speeding down the country lane. I'm doing really well. I'm even calming myself down in the back of my mind. Anyway, finished my test now, and then he's like to me, oh, I'm sorry, but this time you still didn't pass. And the reason was because my side mirrors touched the branches on the side of the road. Like, that doesn't happen to every driver anyway. So yeah, that's why I failed that test, and that was like number 4. Okay, so the 5th time that I didn't pass my test, my driving instructor was actually really nice. He was super friendly, and that made me more relaxed and calm. But he was like, oh, Talani, that's a really nice name. Where's it from? And I was like, it's from Nigeria. And he was like, oh, really? Where in Nigeria? Like, what part of Nigeria are you from? What tribe are you from? Like, what language do you speak? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this guy wants to give me proper conversation so I can be relaxed, and we're driving and talking like I'm just talking to my friend and driving at the same time. So I'm like, yeah, I'm from Nigeria, we speak Yoruba. And he's like, oh, really? So what tribe, where, like, what's, like, town are you from? And I'm like, I'm there trying to think to myself, and he's like, oh, really? So, have you been there before? And he's talking, and the ambulance is coming from the background. To be honest, I didn't even hear it. I was just trying to remember what village I was from in Nigeria. And I didn't remember anything else other than that. And all I remember is that I was supposed to turn right at that road. So I was positioned to turn right, and I was just standing there, waiting to turn right. The ambulance was coming forwards. I was still waiting to turn right. The ambulance is still signaling that I should move my car. I'm still waiting to turn right. And then he grabs hold of my steering wheel, and I'm like, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. If you don't know, once the driving instructor touches your steering wheel, it's a done deal. You failed at that point. And you know what? Yeah, it was like the first 2 minutes in my test. So I just wanted to end it there and then, because I just felt like crying. There was nothing else that I wanted to do. I didn't want to drive no more. I didn't want to talk to him no more. I didn't even want to touch the steering wheel at that point, because it was just like, what's the point? So moving on, within that time, my car arrived. That was really unfortunate because I couldn't really drive it. It was like I was seeing my nice new car in the driveway just chilling. It was actually really upsetting. Obviously, I had to do my theory test twice prior to this time because it expired within these years, blah, blah, blah. The 6th time, basically, I was too slow and I was stopping at roundabouts for too long, and he asked me to get off on the 4th exit, and I was in the left lane, and I signalled right all the way round. And yeah, so I failed that one. And the 7th time I passed. So the moral of the story is, whatever you want to do, keep at it, regardless of how much money you waste, how much money you do spend, how much time you put in, how much effort you put in, blood, sweat and tears. Believe me, I fasted, prayed, cried, then I passed. But I just didn't give up, because at the end of the day, I didn't still want to be a pedestrian. Like, sometimes you've got to see the light at the end of the tunnel for yourself, even if your surroundings isn't showing that light right now. So continue to practice and continue to push forward with your driving, and good luck, and thanks for watching this video.